everyone, welcome to the top 10 list, and welcome to my top 10 favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movies. Yes, Jake Gyllenhaal, yes, Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal is an actor that I freaking adore. I love his movies. I'm excited to talk about my top 10 favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movies. Alright, let's get started. Here's my top 10 favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movies. And for a top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are The Good Girl, Jarhead, Enemy, Lovely and Amazing, Southpaw, Everest, and Love and Other Drugs. All pretty good movies. Just couldn't make the top 10 list, but what did make my top 10 was my number 10. And my number 10 is the movie Brothers. Yes, Brothers stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Tobey Maguire, and Natalie Portman. Yes, as much as I love Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie, I do think Tobey Maguire stole the whole movie as the soldier going through this post-traumatic stress after getting captured in the war. But I love this story. I love the dynamics of this story. Yes, I just love this story about these brothers and how one brother goes off to war and the one brother has to take care of this family, and when they think the brother dies while he's at war, but really he didn't, he got captured. He has to take care of the brother's family, and he falls in love with his brother's wife, played by Natalie Portman, but then his brother comes back from the war, and he knows that his family doesn't love him like they used to. They love Jake Gyllenhaal as a father, and then he's got this post-traumatic stress and stuff, then he wants to almost kill his brother at the end of the movie. It just turns into this big, dramatic thrill ride of a film, and damn, this movie's just good. Such a well-directed, well-written movie, and the three performances is what makes this movie so freaking good. Jake Gyllenhaal's so great as the brother. Natalie Portman is really great in this movie as well. She has great chemistry with both Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire, but I do think Tobey Maguire did steal the movie as the soldier. He was just so good and very sympathetic, and you really bought that he had this really bad post-traumatic stress. Like, it was really well done, and I love the dynamics between both Jake Gyllenhaal and Tobey Maguire. This movie is a fantastic movie and a very underappreciated movie, and please check it out. It's such a great movie. Coming in number 9 is the movie Donnie Darko. Yes, Donnie Darko is a movie everybody has seen and everybody's talked about, so I really don't have much to say about it because everyone has talked to death about this movie. There's theories about this movie. There's in-depth analysis about this movie. Everyone has talked a lot about this movie and praised this movie, and most of them are pretty much right. This movie's a good, thought-provoking, horror, thriller, dramatic movie. Jake Gyllenhaal's fantastic. You got Drew Barrymore, she's great. A very young performance by Seth Rogen as well, and it's a very well-directed movie, very well-paced movie, and it's just a damn good movie. It's not my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie like it is most people's, but it's still a very good movie. Coming number 8 is End of Watch. End of Watch is probably the best found footage movie out there, right there with Chronicle. This movie is such a great buddy cop movie. I love the found footage style. It's almost like a documentary form about a week of these police officers' lives and stuff. Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena are both fantastic. This is probably the best David Ayer movie because David Ayer is a great writer. He wrote Trading Day, but as a director, this is his best directing piece. This movie's fantastic. The found footage style really works for the story of this movie, and it's just such a well-directed, well-paced, well-structuralized film. Jake Gyllenhaal's amazing, Michael Pena's amazing, even America Ferrera, Anna Kendrick, they're all great in this movie, and it's a very emotional movie, and a very realistic movie about police officers in Los Angeles. So yeah, End of Watch, so good. Coming number 7 is Nocturnal Animals. Yes, Nocturnal Animals just came out just this year. I just reviewed it just a few weeks ago. I have seen this movie 3 times, and it gets better and better, and I learn new things the more times I watch it. I won't spoil this movie because I did a whole review of it, but this movie is great. Jake Gyllenhaal is fantastic. I love how all 3 stories are connected, all with this story, the Nocturnal Animals story. The Nocturnal Animals story is obviously the best part of the movie, but the other 2 stories are very interesting, very thought-provoking as well. Jake Gyllenhaal's amazing, Amy Adams, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Michael Shannon, everyone's great in this movie. This is hands down Tom Ford's best movie. It's an amazing movie, give it a watch, it's so good. Coming number 6 is Nightcrawler. Yes, him as Lewis Bloom. Steady hands, steady hands. I'm Lewis Bloom. I'm looking for internship. My God, he is so fucking creepy in this movie as Lewis Bloom. He's another Patrick Bateman. He's fucking psychotic. And it's almost in a very darkly comedic way. This movie's great. I love the story of a Nightcrawler. People who film bad things and sell it to the news studios and stuff. And it's a great movie. It's a very dark, twisted, kind of comedic movie. And I freaking love this movie. I want to see more movies of Dan Gilroy. I want to see more movies that he makes because I love how he wrote and directed this movie. Jake Gyllenhaal is great. You also got Bill Paxton in the supporting cast with Rene Russo and Riz Ahmed. They're all great. This movie is just a very dark, twisted movie, but it's a lot of fun and definitely one of my favorites. Coming number 5 is Source Code. Yes, Source Code is a very time travel-esque sort of movie. It's like Groundhog Day and Edge of Tomorrow, but it came out before Edge of Tomorrow. And it's directed by Duncan Jones, who did Moon, which was after Moon, but not as good as Moon, but almost as good as Moon. But yeah, this movie's great. Basically, it's about Jake Gyllenhaal's character, and he has to repeat an accident over and over. He has to repeat the day over and over again about this train accident, and he has to figure out who caused the train accident stuff, but he gets attached to Michelle Monaghan, who's on the train, and all the passengers on the train and stuff. This movie's a fantastic movie. It's a very cool, smart, thrilling science fiction film, and I love Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie. I also love Jeffrey Wright, Vera Farmiga, Michelle Monaghan, and how Duncan Jones wrote and directed this movie was so freaking well done. And the ending to this movie is also very deep, very philosophical, and very thought-provoking, and I freaking love it. One of my favorite time-traveling movies, one of my favorite science fiction movies, and one of my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movies. Coming number 4 is October Sky. Yes, October Sky is directed by Joe Johnston, hands down the best Joe Johnston movie. I love the simple story. I watched this movie a lot when I was a kid. I actually watched it in my high school science class. This movie's great. It's about chasing your dream. It's a very young performance by Jake Gyllenhaal and Chris Cooper and the whole supporting cast. Everyone's fantastic in this movie. And it feels like you're watching like this 60s, 50s sort of movie. I don't know when this movie takes place, but it really does it well with its production design and the tone and atmosphere of the film. I love October Sky. It's a great movie. Coming number 3 is Brokeback Mountain. Yes, Brokeback Mountain. I love Brokeback Mountain. Yeah, all you people, you're like, No, this movie's fantastic. It's one of Ang Lee's best movies. Ang Lee directed this movie so freaking well. The cinematography is great. The 2 lead performances, Heath Ledger, Jake Gyllenhaal, are so good in this movie as this homosexual couple. Yes, it's about homosexuals. Get over it. But yeah, they're ashamed of being homosexual. That's why they both each have wives, played by Michelle Williams and Anne Hathaway. And it's a very tragic romance. It's so deep, so powerful, so realistic, and so incredibly well acted, so incredibly well directed. This movie is amazing. It's a great dramatic romance movie with a very tragic, very sad ending, and I freaking love this movie. This movie should have won Best Picture the year at the Oscars. Not fucking Crash. It should have won to Brokeback Mountain or Good Night and Good Luck. But Brokeback Mountain should have won the Academy Awards. It's hands down one of Ang Lee's best movies and one of my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movies. Coming number 2 is Zodiac. Yes, Zodiac, again, one of my favorite David Fincher movies. This is about the Zodiac Killer, which was in the 1960s and stuff, who killed all these women and these young people and all these men and stuff, and he was never, ever captured, and they never found the Zodiac Killer. And this movie is about these 3 people all trying to catch the Zodiac Killer. You got Robert Downey Jr., who's this reporter who the Zodiac is attacking and stuff. You got Mark Ruffalo, who's the police officer investigating the Zodiac murders. And then you got Jake Gyllenhaal, a cartoonist, who's very interested in puzzles, and the Zodiac Killer leaves puzzles, and he's interested in solving all the puzzles, and he thinks if he solves all the puzzles, he'll find who the killer is and stuff. It's a very intriguing, dramatic mystery thriller, and I freaking love it. David Fincher's direction worked amazingly for the story and for the tone of the movie. This movie's hands down one of the best Fincher movies, and definitely one of my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movies. It's so freaking good. And my number 1 favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie is, of course, Prisoners. I've mentioned Prisoners so many times in my ranking of Denis Villeneuve's movies, my favorite Hugh Jackman movies. Everyone knows that Prisoners is a movie I just adore. It's my favorite, one of my favorite movies of 2013, right there with Her. This movie is just so good. I love Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie. It's Detective Loki. Yeah, Loki. Yes, he's so great in this movie. I love him. I love Hugh Jackman as Keller Dover. I love that it's a simple story, but they do it in such a fresh and original way, thanks to Denis Villeneuve's direction, mostly, because it's about a father, well, 2 fathers, Terrence Howard and Hugh Jackman, and both their daughters get kidnapped, and it's about this detective, Detective Loki. He's trying to find who did it and stuff, find who kidnapped these daughters, and they think it's this kid played by Paul Dano who's not mentally okay and stuff, but really you find out who it is, and it's kind of obvious who it is, but the way how it's executed and directed, it's so deep and thrilling and kind of fucked up and disturbing and stuff. And it's also about Hugh Jackman's side story. He kidnaps Paul Dano and starts torturing him and stuff. This movie is a very fucked up movie, and it just is so freaking good. Roger Deakins' cinematography is so good, and Denis Villeneuve's direction is so freaking amazing. The score, the cinematography, the editing, everything about this movie is brilliant. It keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole movie. I've seen this movie 10 times, and I can still never get sick of this movie. The performances, the direction, the shots, the score, everything about this movie is just perfection. Hands down one of the best movies of the decade, and hands down my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movie. So yeah, that's my top 10 personal favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movies. So in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this top 10 list? If not, give me your top 10 favorite Jake Gyllenhaal movies. Comment below, let me know. And as always for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.